You've all probably seen either The Blair Witch Project or Paranormal Activity, two hugely profitable horror films in which footage shot from the victims is recovered and shown to us to appear real. Although many people thought Blair Witch Project was real, we quickly learned that that wasn't the case. Found footage films rarely fool or surprise anyone these days, but what might surprise you are real-life found footage tapes, many of which are way scarier than the fictional tapes. This subject was the most popular choice in a poll I did on Twitter. If you want to take part in future polls, then follow me on Twitter at @TheSirSpooks. With all that said, let's start off the list. In August 1989, a family whose car had broken down found a videotape wrapped in an old military fatigue jacket beside Highway 205 near Stockton, California. The family gave the videotape to investigators after they watched it. The tape shows flames consuming a house at night as an eerie voice whispers, "Ancient spirit of evil, look at it. The fire department is trying to put it out." What a laugh. The narrator, who we do not see, can be heard breathing heavily and laughing, while talking to a mysterious figure he named Omar. Some investigators thought that what the narrator said could be a reference to Satan. Investigators got 1,600 calls and possible leads from people across the nation after the videotape was shown on the national television program Unsolved Mysteries.
This is what goes through his mind as he's...
The case was eventually solved. Several residents identified the house on fire as a house in Redwood City, 80 miles from where the tape was discovered. Surprisingly, on the night of the fire, a fire chief also videotaped the fire for training purposes. The two videos were compared and were shown to be identical, and it was confirmed that the house on the arsonist tape was the Redwood City house. A 17-year-old and a 19-year-old from the Redwood City area identified themselves as the arsonists. Since they were both juveniles when they set the fire, they were both tried as minors. One of them served time in juvenile hall, while the other was committed to a state mental hospital. This videotape shows a fatal plane crash. It all happened on August 10th, 1984, when a Cessna L-19 Bird Dog, piloted by James Jeb Cadell, 38 years old, was en route from Granby to Jeffco Airport, Colorado. The plane crashed as the pilot had not taken into account the density altitude conditions that were present on the day of flying. The plane was unable to climb away from steadily rising terrain. Just before impact, you can hear the pilot yell, "Damn, hang on, Ronnie," to his backseat passenger, Ronald Hugh Wilmond, age 36.
Hang on, Ronnie!
3 years later, the wreck was found by a pair of backpackers. They even found a heavily damaged tape, which contained this almost 7-minute long video shot from a VHS camcorder. This eerie footage allegedly shows the last moments a man encountered before forever getting lost in the maze, we know as the Paris catacombs. In the video, the man is seen discovering thousands of piles of human remains. As the man tries to find a way out, he seems to become more and more panicked. He eventually drops the camera, but it keeps rolling as his footsteps disappear off into the darkness. Therefore, we don't actually know whether or not he made it out alive, or if the videotape is even genuine.
It's very bizarre. These arrows point in a direction. Occasionally also, he stops to photograph roomfuls of bones, which means that he's very, very deep inside the catacombs. So basically, he's filming what he's seeing very deep inside the catacombs. Human bones. The catacombs for centuries. So it is possible with these paintings that we may be able to retrace his itinerary to some extent. He's running faster and faster and faster, deeper and deeper into the catacombs. And all of a sudden, we hear his breathing get louder and louder, as though something was scaring him. He's frightened, he's frightened. Occasionally he stops, perhaps to try to decide which way to run among all the many different corridors.
The camera was later allegedly found by another group of explorers, who reportedly took the tape to authorities. On the morning of April 16, 2014, the MV Sewell sank while carrying 476 people. 172 people survived the Sewell ferry disaster. The captain and most of the crew were hugely criticized for their actions. As passengers stayed in their cabins as instructed, the captain and crew members abandoned the ship. As the ship capsized, some passengers followed instructions to stay put, even as the water came in. 2 phones were found in which video footage from the incident was discovered. The footage was taken by 2 boys from Danwon High School. Neither of them survived. In the video, you can hear some kids joking around, while others are talking about their families. Some are even saying their farewells, realizing that they probably won't be rescued. They all seem to be confused by the situation and the fact that they were instructed to stay. It's absolutely heartbreaking to watch, especially knowing what eventually happens to them. If you want to watch the video, I'll leave a link in the description. In the early 1990s, a homemade VHS circulated around called Grave Robbing for Morons. The video features a young man passionately explaining how to rob graves without being caught, what bones are most valuable, as well as other tips. He shows what appears to be an actual human skull.
On this big, alright, if it's a male, you might have lines like that from the baldness, okay? Now, so what you do is you grab it around here. You grab it here and peel it back like that, okay? Peel it back, alright, and it'll pull off, it'll make a disgusting sound. To make sure that it's authentic, or you take the dentures and you make sure they're with them, so that way the person knows who this person is, alright? Alright, because sometimes you go and you risk your ass looking for somebody, alright, and somebody might be paying some serious money for it. So you have to rub it and rub it and rub it, or you gotta wash off all the blood and everything, you know, because it's a bit more new. This one has almost no brains. Let me see. Okay, if it's raining, the rain will help you a lot. If it's snowy, the snow will leave footprints.
No one knows if it's real or fake, making this one of the most mysterious found footage tapes out there. The entire video is 26 minutes long, so as always, check out the link in the description if you want to watch the full thing. And that was 5 real found footage tapes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. My name is Sir Spooks, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Eat.